Picture this. You're standing in front of a jewelry store, looking at a beautiful gold ring. It catches the light perfectly. You imagine proposing with it, or maybe it's a gift for someone special. But here, as a question that probably never crossed your mind. Where did that gold actually come from? I'm not talking about which store. I'm talking about its real origin story. Was it pulled from the earth by miners in dangerous conditions? Did someone risk their life for it? Was a forest destroyed? Did mercury poison a river somewhere on the other side of the world? Yeah, it kind of ruins the sparkle, doesn't it? Here's the crazy part. For most of human history, we've had no idea where our gold comes from. And honestly, we didn't really want to know. But that's changing. Right now, technology is revolutionizing how we mine gold, and it's not just about digging smarter or faster. It's about mining ethically. It's about knowing the story behind every single ounce. Today, we're diving deep into the future of gold mining, where artificial intelligence meets ancient mountains, where blockchain tracks nuggets from mine to market, and where robots are replacing people in dangerous tunnels. This isn't science fiction. This is happening right now. So buckle up, because what you're about to discover might change how you look at gold forever. Let's start with the uncomfortable truth. Gold mining has always been a dirty business, literally and figuratively. For thousands of years, we've been obsessed with this shiny metal. The ancient Egyptians covered their pharaohs in it. The Spanish conquistadors destroyed civilizations searching for it. The California gold rush saw people abandon everything for a chance to find it. But here's what they don't show you in the movies. Traditional gold mining is brutal. Right now, there are an estimated 13 million people working in small-scale artisanal gold mining, and get this, 1.5 million of them are children. Let that sink in. Kids as young as 5, crawling through narrow tunnels that could collapse at any moment. They use mercury with their bare hands to separate gold from rock, a process that poisons them slowly. They're breathing in toxic dust, scarring their lungs permanently. And they're doing all this for maybe $1 or $2 a day. The environmental damage is staggering. To get a single ounce of gold, miners have to move and process about 30 tons of rock. 30 tons. That's like excavating an entire house for enough gold to make one wedding ring. The methods are incredibly destructive. Miners use mercury, one of the most toxic substances on Earth, which accumulates in rivers, in fish, and eventually in people thousands of miles away. Then there's cyanide heap leaching, where huge piles of crushed rock are sprayed with cyanide. One small mistake, and you've got an environmental catastrophe that poisons water for generations. In the Amazon rainforest alone, illegal gold mining has destroyed an area larger than Luxembourg. And here's the really messed up part. We can't even track it properly. Unlike diamonds, which have the conflict diamond certification system, gold is nearly impossible to trace. Once it's melted down, gold from an ethical mine looks exactly the same as gold ripped from protected rainforests. So for decades, companies and consumers have had plausible deniability. We couldn't know if our gold was ethical, so we just chose not to think about it. But that's where technology comes in. So how do you fix a problem this big? You don't just improve old methods. You completely reimagine mining from the ground up, using cutting-edge technology. Let's start with one of the coolest innovations, blockchain. Now, I know what you're thinking. Another video talking about blockchain. But hear me out, because this application is brilliant. Remember how I said gold is impossible to trace? Well, not anymore. Companies are now using blockchain to create permanent tamper-proof records for every piece of gold, from the moment it's pulled from the earth. Think of it like a digital passport that follows the gold everywhere. When gold is extracted from an ethical mine, it gets registered on a blockchain ledger. This records where it came from, who mined it, the working conditions, and the environmental practices used. As that gold moves from the mine to the refinery, to the manufacturer, to the jeweler, and finally to you, every single step is recorded. And here's the genius part. Nobody can fake it. Nobody can go back and change the records. It's mathematically impossible. So for the first time ever, you can buy a gold ring and scan a QR code that tells you the exact story of where that gold came from. Companies like Minex and Everledger are already doing this. They're partnering with mining operations to track gold from extraction to final sale. Some jewelers are now marketing blockchain-verified ethical gold as a premium product, and consumers are willing to pay more for it. Because it turns out, when people know their gold is ethical, they care. But blockchain is just the beginning. The real transformation is happening in the mines themselves. Think about the last piece of gold you saw. Maybe it's a wedding ring, a phone's internal component, or a shiny little bar in a vault. It looks pure, eternal, and perfectly clean, right? But what if I told you that for every ounce of this glistening metal, a hidden war is being waged? A war against the environment, against human health, and often against basic human decency. Gold, the symbol of wealth and stability for thousands of years, is also, ironically, one of the dirtiest materials on Earth. The industry, especially at the small-scale level, poisons rivers with mercury, clears rainforests, and traps millions in a cycle of poverty and exploitation. It's a tragedy hidden behind a glittering facade. So, here's the mystery. How do we keep getting the gold we demand without paying the devastating human and environmental price? This isn't a story about quitting gold, it's a story about re-engineering it. From satellite-guided exploration and solar-powered drills, to revolutionary mercury-free chemistry and blockchain tracking, we're going to dive into the future of gold and discover the high-tech heroes and game-changing solutions that are finally forging a path toward ethical, sustainable, and truly clean gold. Stick around. You're not going to believe what's happening in the mines you've never seen. To understand the solution, you have to understand the scale of the problem. Gold mining generally splits into two worlds, and both have major issues. First, you have the industrial, big mining operations. Think massive trucks, huge open pits, and cyanide to leach the gold out of the rock. Now, these operations are regulated, but they still consume staggering amounts of energy and water. We're talking about pits that can be seen from space, and waste piles called tailings that are frankly terrifying environmental liabilities. But the real, heartbreaking problem lies in the second world. The world of artisanal and small-scale gold mining, or ASGM. Picture this. It's not a corporation. It's millions of individual, often desperate, people, men, women, and even children digging in the Amazon, in West Africa, or in remote Asia. They produce about 20% of the world's gold, but they are responsible for an estimated 95% of the sector's mercury pollution. Why mercury? Because it's cheap, easy, and fast. You mix liquid mercury with the crushed ore, it binds with the tiny gold flecks, forming a clump called an amalgam. Then, you burn the amalgam with a blowtorch on right in a village, or over a campfire. The gold remains, and the mercury, it vaporizes into the air, falls back down into the water and soil, and enters the food chain. This isn't just a geological disaster. It's a personal tragedy. Mercury attacks the nervous system. It leads to birth defects. It silently poisons entire communities. It is, quite literally, the price of cheap gold. The challenge isn't stopping them from mining. It's giving them a safer, more profitable way to do it. And that, my friends, is where technology steps in. The first, most immediate battle is replacing that deadly blowtorch and that liquid silver poison. The good news: the solution isn't some futuristic fantasy. It exists now. It's all about clean chemistry, and the frontrunner is a simple, non-toxic compound called borax, or sodium tetrabit. Borax, which you probably have under your sink as a cleaner, has been shown to be an effective flux when smelting gold-rich ore. You don't use it to extract the gold, but you use it to lower the melting point of the material after concentration, making the gold separate cleanly. When combined with better concentration techniques like simple shaker tables or centrifugal pulse, it drastically reduces the need for mercury. But even better than borax are the truly cutting-edge mercury-free chemicals coming out of labs. One promising technology uses a non-cyanide, non-mercury reagent called thiosol. Another, developed by a startup in the US, uses a biodegradable organic leaching chemical. Think of it like a highly sophisticated eco-friendly solvent that dissolves only the gold, leaving the rest of the rock and soil untouched. The tech is brilliant, but here's the kicker. Why isn't every miner using it? Because adoption is a human problem, not just a technical one. These small-scale miners often live day to day. They don't have the capital for new equipment, and they're skeptical of new methods, especially if it adds a single step to their long, hard workday. This is where innovation needs a helping hand from finance and education, a theme we keep coming back to. But before we get there, let's look at how we're finding the gold in the first place. But it's not just about chemistry. The big picture of industrial mining is also getting a high-tech green makeover. How? By looking down from space. Before a single shovel hits the ground, satellites equipped with hyperspectral imaging can now map vast areas, identifying mineral compositions from orbit. This means companies can pinpoint exactly where to dig, drastically reducing unnecessary exploration and environmental damage. Once they know where the gold is, the digging itself is getting smarter. Fleets of autonomous self-driving trucks and drills are taking over. They operate 24/7 on perfectly optimized routes, burning far less fuel and eliminating human error. And what powers these massive operations? Increasingly, it's not dirty diesel generators. Huge mine sites are transitioning to renewable energy. Take the Fekla gold mine in Mali. It's now powered by one of the world's largest solar hybrid plants, proving that even the most energy-intensive industries can go green. So, we have cleaner extraction and smarter mining. But how do you guarantee that the gold you buy actually came from one of these ethical sources? For decades, that's been the trust problem. Gold from different mines, some ethical, some not, gets mixed together, laundered and melted down, making its origin impossible to trace. This is where blockchain comes in. It creates an unchangeable digital ledger for every single gram of gold. The moment it's extracted from a rarefied ethical mine, it gets a digital passport. Think of it as a digital fingerprint for your ring. Initiatives like Provenance are already linking physical gold to its digital story, giving you, the consumer, absolute certainty that your jewelry isn't tainted by conflict or environmental harm. But what if the most ethical source of gold isn't in a mine at all? What if it's already in your house, sitting in a drawer? I'm talking about urban mining extracting gold from our electronic waste. It's shocking, but a ton of old phones and computers can contain 40 to 80 times more gold than a ton of ore from a mine. The challenge is that e-waste is a complex mess of materials. The solution is surprisingly biological. A process called bioleaching uses specific bacteria or fungi to selectively dissolve and recover gold and other precious metals from circuit boards. It's a slower process, but it's incredibly clean and efficient, turning our minute disposed habit into a circular use recycle reuse economy. Of course, technology alone isn't enough. It has to empower the people at the heart of the industry, the miners themselves. Ethical mining is also about social organization. Technology is helping small-scale miners form cooperatives, allowing them to pool resources, negotiate better prices, and access ethical financing. Simple mobile apps and payment systems are formalizing their businesses, connecting them directly to global markets, and ensuring they receive a fair price for their mercury-free gold. This is what makes certification systems like Fairtrade Gold not just a sticker, but a verifiable reality. So, where does this leave us? We started by asking how we can have gold without the devastating cost. The answer is a powerful cocktail of high-tech innovation, smart chemistry, and the collective will to change. The future of gold is no longer just buried underground. It's in the clean chemistry that lets the rainforest breathe. It's in the satellite data that stops needless destruction. It's in the blockchain code that guarantees your gold is guilt-free, and it's in the urban miners turning trash into treasure. This shift means your next gold purchase can be more than just a commodity. It can be an investment in clean water, safe jobs, and a planet not sacrificed for its shine. It's a long road, but for the first time, we have the tools to create a new gold standard, one where the value is its price per ounce, but the ethical story it tells. So next time you see a piece of gold, ask yourself, is it a story of poison and poverty, or a tale of technology, ethics, and hope? The power to choose is increasingly in our hands. If you found this deep dive fascinating, let me know in the comments. What other dirty industries do you think need a tech revolution? Don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more explorations into the future of our world. Thanks for watching.